Hey, this is DragonFeather. I'm sorry for the constant change in scenery, and I'm sorry if the lighting is bad, but really don't have anywhere else to make this video, so... Oh, there we go! It looks creepy now. Okay, so I'm here to do a video. This was a request. It's on the Wiccan beliefs, rules, traditions, and basically just an overall what is Wicca, really. I'm surprised I haven't done a video on this already. It's kind of weird. So, yes, Wicca is a nature-based religion that consists of the worship of, well, if you will, worship, or celebration of nature and nature's life cycles, such as the seasons and the phases of the moon. It consists of a god and a goddess. Some people choose to just worship the god or the goddess. An example of that would be Dianic Wicca, just celebrates or worships the goddess aspect of it. And there's also many different kinds, as in like worshipping pantheons, such as like Tamaranian Wicca, which is Egyptian Wicca, essentially. Wicca also works with the 4 elements, or 5 elements if you will. Earth, air, fire, water, and spirit or ether, or Akasha, any of that. It goes by many different names, and it works with them, being the 4 basic elements of life, how you need all 4 to have life in order to have it function, work properly, and be maintained. Now, spirit, ether, or Akasha is the spirit or soul inside of every living thing. And everyone has spirit inside of them, and spirit is everywhere, spirit is in everything. It's in the air, the clouds, the rain, the plants, the animals, everything. And it's basically like the essence of life, as some would describe it. And yeah, that's pretty much spirit. Spirit. Okay, so there's also the Wheel of the Year. Now, the Wheel of the Year is the celebration of the sun rituals and the change of the seasons. Now, there's 8 Sabbats, or Wiccan holidays, or pagan holidays, that one would celebrate, but I'll get into that a little bit later. But yes, the Wheel of the Year is basically, how should I put this? How a Wiccan or a pagan or a witch celebrates the changing of, the seasons in life and such. So that's not just, Wicca does use it, but it's not predominantly Wiccan. It's it's pagan. A lot of pagans celebrate that. Then there's Summerland. Summerland is kind of like the Wiccan version of heaven, though it's slightly different. When one dies, their spirit is taken to Summerland, a place for reflection and a place for rest and peace and serenity, and a time to just let go, really, before your essence is taken along with other people and put in to create a new being, which is being reincarnated, and such and so forth. There's the Wiccan Read, which is kind of like the Wiccan Bible. It is a really long poem. I believe it's 24 stanzas long, that describes how one Wiccan should act, or how one Wiccan should perform their day-to-day life, and it's really short, and it's a very beautiful poem. So if I can find one online, I'll leave a link below for the actual Wiccan Read so you guys can read it, for you guys who haven't read it. Yeah. There's the Wiccan New Year, which is October 31st, or Samhain, which is one of the Wiccan holidays. And this is just like New Year's, January 1st is for most people, like on the Gregorian calendar. This day is a day for new beginnings, a day for divination and future work, and all of that kind of stuff, communicating with lost loved ones, dead people, celebrating death, and just celebrating the opposite of life, because normally we celebrate life and it's just a day of the dead, essentially. It's not the Day of the Dead, but blah blah blah. That's a whole different holiday. Wicca is also about connecting with yourself quite a bit. It's getting to know God and Goddess through you, because everyone has God and Goddess inside of them. Like I said, God and Goddess is everywhere. They're in everything, and they're basically the essence or the male and female attributes of everything. They're not so much people as they are just a presence, I guess. They're not really an entity, it's just a feeling you get, I guess. It's hard to explain, and it's different for everyone. But yeah, it's basically the portraying the woman and the man, or the whatever, and it's basically just everything about a man and a woman, male characteristics in one being and a female characteristics in another being, and the god is depicted with horns, so he is the horned god, and he changes throughout the year. He also becomes the green man, or the guy or the man who looks like his face is made of leaves, and that's around the fallish kind of seasons and spring seasons. Well, sometimes, never mind, it's used all the time, so never mind, scratch that. I didn't say it. But anyway, as for rules for a Wiccan, or morals, as you would say, there's really only two, and the first one is and harm none, do what you will, and that means, as long as you're not hurting anyone, you can do as you please. Therefore, you can, choose what goddesses you want to worship, you can choose what gods you want to worship, you can choose to, sit outside or anything. Like, it doesn't matter. There's nothing right or wrong as long as it doesn't hurt anyone. And the next rule is the rule of 3, which is basically a karmatic law, of what you put out comes back to you threefold. So let's just say I give someone a smile. Well, then later on in my life, maybe I'll get the winning lotto ticket, or maybe I'll get congratulated on a song I wrote, or something like that. Like, it's just that it comes back to me threefold. However, if I were to harm somebody, or if I were to do a negative deed, say if I were to jeer someone, or if I were to bully someone, then later on in life, like, something might get stolen from me, or something of the such. And that's why the best thing to do, and what Wicca promotes the most, is just being the best you can possibly be, and do everything and anything you can to help someone who needs it. As for the traditions and stuff of a Wiccan witch, or a Wiccan in general, how most people become Wiccan is their year and a day. And a year and a day is 366 days of you doing something different to learn about the religion, to celebrate the religion, to practice the religion, to get into this whole thing of the religion, and witchcraft too. Witchcraft is a very big part of Wicca, but not all Wiccans are witches. I'll explain that in a second too. But yeah, they have this year and a day, and for a year and a day they study and do everything they possibly can to better themselves in the religion and the knowledge of the religion, and at the end they have a celebration and they declare themselves a Wiccan. Now that's one way you can become a Wiccan, depending on what tradition you're using. Tradition being Dianic Wicca, Tamaranian Wicca, Eclectic Wicca, all of that. And such. Now, the Sabbats, or the solar rituals, or the seasonal rituals, there's 4 solar rituals and 4 seasonal rituals, and the solar rituals celebrate the sun and the god aspect, and it's just a day of celebration, and by celebrating the god, it's where the god is in the sky, or there's a story between the god and the goddess, which I've told before in one of my videos, and if he's growing older, if he's growing stronger and more abundant, or if he's dying, or if he's dead, and taking everybody to the places that they need to be. And then the seasonal rituals are the celebration of the seasons, such as like spring or fall or winter or summer, and just celebrating all the things that is going to happen during that season, and being thankful for last season and the stuff that you got and the stuff that you've seen or observed or anything like that. Anything that that season brought you in particular. And then there's S-bits, or S-bots, and they are moon rituals or goddess rituals in celebration of the cycle of the moon. And there's two types. There is a full S-bit, or S-bot, however you guys want to pronounce it, which celebrates the full moon and the abundant aspects of it, and is a great time to start to do spells for starting something new, a spell for protection or anything like that. And then there's dark S-bits or S-bots, and that is celebrating the dark side of the goddess, or the more melancholic side of her, such as Hecate, which is used a lot in this ritual. A lot of people invoke Hecate, which I do not recommend for beginners, because sometimes she's a hard goddess and hard energy to deal with if you don't know how to deal with her, so please be careful. But this is a great time for divination, a great time for casting your darker spells. I say darker spells as in curses or hexes, nor do I recommend cursing and hexing someone for your own selfish needs or your own justifications of why you need to do it. But anyway, that's pretty much all I have to say. That's pretty much what Wicca is, and if you guys have any questions or comments, let me know and I'll help you guys out, and I hope this helped to the person who requested this video. Anytime you guys have requests for videos, just personally message me or leave a comment on a video and I will get to it as soon as I can. But until next time, blessed be and bye.